Hello, everyone, and welcome to this introduction and welcome to Block Party number 135. Starting tomorrow, 11/11/22. How do you like that numerology? Anyway, I'm going to give an overview of what we're going to be working on and kind of perfecting tomorrow, which will be a series of tweets and a series of videos, one video per tweet, as basically a multifaceted proposal to Elon Musk associated with Twitter and the collective superintelligence. Notably, Elon put out a tweet in the last couple of weeks about Twitter becoming a collective superintelligence, which is extremely exciting for us because we've been working on the concept of collective superintelligence and how to get there and how it would work for years now. And so the fact that Twitter is headed in that direction. So without further ado, let me get right to it and screen share what we're going to be. Anyway, but just to be clear, so we're going to be doing actual tweets tomorrow, recording actual videos, publishing them, and tweeting them out in response to Elon's very visionary tweet. So let me screen share. Here is the title of the first and most important tweet. Hashtag Dutch42. The Dutch tweet for CCC, Certified Compassionate Conversations. Okay. So hashtag Dutch42. So let's unpack all this. Let's start with hashtag Dutch42, and then we'll unpack the rest. So Dutch 42 is one big acronym, including the 42. And it's an acronym for the decentralized universe of transformational conversations, which are hyperconnected and committed to finding 42, the answer. And this is with a nod to the book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I highly recommend. And well, what was the question? The question is, how do we save, heal, and transform life on Earth? Okay. So that all constitutes Dutch 42 and this decentralized universe with these foci. Here, I haven't yet really talked about the CCC, Certified Compassionate Conversations. It is what it says on the can. That's what it is. Now, for more details on that, please see the separate video, which we'll link to below, called Compassionate Conversations. We'll also have another link to explore in more detail exactly what we mean by transformational. But for now, just the focus is on what you see at the very bottom of the screen there: saving, healing, and transforming life on Earth. And don't worry about this other stuff down here. All right. So that's the Dutch universe, what's represented by Dutch 42. The Dutch universe is something which I maintain is absolutely crucial for achieving the collective superintelligence that Elon Musk dreams of, okay? And that Twitter is playing a very important part of. I'm going to mute everybody's microphone because we're getting some kind of breathing in there going on. Just unmute when you need to, when you want to speak. I'm going to draw some pictures to really make this point clear. But first, I'm just going to finish giving the basic idea of how hashtag Dutch42, the Dutch tweet, works with just how it all works, a little bit more on the details, and then I'll talk just for literally 10 seconds about promotion of the whole thing and getting the whole thing off the ground. And then I'm going to fast forward ahead to really the vision of all of this, which is, I think, the most important part, because that's what's really going to pull us forward. But first, let's get through just a couple of details. So the basic dynamics of how this works is anytime anyone wants to have a transformational and certified compassionate conversation, they simply tweet it out with hashtag Dutch42. They tweet out the details of the meeting, the coordinates of the meeting. They tweet that out simply with hashtag Dutch42. That's it. That is what we're calling the Dutch tweet. And by once every organizer of a transformational and compassionate conversation adopts this standard and tweets out all of their conversations that they're organizing that are transformational and compassionate with hashtag Dutch42, that right there is the proper birth of the Dutch universe. And we've talked about lots of other ways of making this happen. It turns out this is just the most straightforward way. Certified compassion is a very important part of it. And in terms of the mechanics of it, so the tweeting out, doing the Dutch tweet, every organizer of compassionate conversations, compassionate transformational conversations, doing the Dutch tweet, that's the main mechanism of both making the Dutch universe real, bringing it to life, and cross-pollinating it with Twitter, right? Because then as people RSVP, which is another fundamental mechanism, or submit updates to the conversation before, during, and after the conversation, you can have all kinds of updates. All that just gives more visibility to these transformational, compassionate conversations. And and then there's also certified compassionate. How do you certify that a conversation is compassionate or anti-compassionate, non-compassionate? That's a whole topic unto itself, which we'll explore in the links below. So just follow the links below if you want to go deeper on any of those conversations. For the promotion of the whole thing, Elon, I'm inviting you to throw the biggest party on earth, which is the launch party for the Dutch universe. And the focus of the launch party could be, what is compassionate? How do we define certified compassionate? And let that be something that everyone who comes to the launch party can co-create along with you, Elon, right? We'll all be doing it in conversation. Let's get together and talk about it, right? Okay, so that's all I wanted to really say about promotion and about the specific mechanics and details. Now I want to skip ahead past all those chapters in, more on all those details, and get right to the heart of the vision, because this is the most exciting part. So everybody fasten your seatbelt, strap in, and prepare to enjoy. Okay. All right. So keep in mind Dutch42, the decentralized universe of transformational conversations that are hyper-connected and focused on the answer to how do we save, heal, and transform life on Earth. Okay. Whoops. Okay. So with all that in mind, imagine that the Dutch universe, which I'm just going to represent as this, big blob over here on the right. Imagine you've got the Dutch universe and you've got the Twitter universe here in blue. Okay. And So again, the fundamental actions are that the Dutch universe tweets out, which then, amplifies the message through Twitter of every transformational and compassionate conversation represented by that green dot. And then, of course, folks in Twitter can then tweet out RSVPs, back over to the Dutch universe, which also amplifies the message of that meeting, etc. And other updates and certifications like certified compassionate. So there's all this glue and connection. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. These two universes, the Twitter universe and the Dutch universe, represent each one is a polar opposite to the other across various key dimensions. Look at this, check this out. One key dimension is that of time, right? The temporal dimension. And basically with Twitter, you've got asynchronous. And with the Dutch universe, you have synchronous. These are, meetings like in Zoom or on Clubhouse or whatever, okay? So they're on the two bookends of the spectrum, right? Asynchronous versus synchronous. Then you have, I'm just going to call it media, right? Is it rich or is it sparse, right? Well, again, you've got the two bookends. With Twitter, you've got 280 characters. It's just text and very little text at that. 1 second, I need to pause for a second. All right. So as I was saying, you don't get any more sparse than 280 characters. And also, you don't get any more rich in terms of media or high bandwidth than, video conferencing, right? Which is also, in many cases being live broadcast. That's an option, which makes it even richer. And then you have, recording, transcription, so again, at opposite bookends, right? Now, here's a big one. We know that the Dutch universe is going to be compassionate, certified compassionate conversations. Twitter, they're not exactly known for their compassion. Let's put it that way, right? In fact, people can be downright mean. And so I'm just going to put a question mark, and that's being charitable, right? Now, and herein we're starting to reveal the Achilles heel of, excuse me, of Twitter, and how the Dutch universe can really help out. Basically, I think of Twitter as dominated by left brain, and it feels also very male. That's not just, females may be the majority of users, but it just feels like a very male modality. It's left brain. It's just very concise and logical. And I'm going to show you and whatever. And also, I'm just going to throw in there, part of the male literally gets to macho, ego, identity, because here's the thing. Every time you tweet something, it's permanent. It's there. You've taken a public position on something, you've proclaimed something, you've declared something, and it just makes it harder for you to back away from that statement or be fluid. It makes it, not intractable, but certainly less tractable. On the other hand, when I think of the Dutch universe and compassion and transformation, I think of the divine feminine. And so you've got these essentially polar opposites across all these important dimensions, right? Also transformation, the dimension of transformation. How shall I put this one? Something like that as the dimension. And this one would be the dimension of compassion, right? So you've got the temporal, the media, compassion, male, female, transformational. Here we're transformational to the max. Here it's questionable. What are people trying to prove? If you're really transformational, come join us in the Dutch universe for a conversation. Here's where we transform stuff. So the point is, it's not either or. The point is, we need both. You see that? We need both. If we have both, it's like having two eyes. It's like having a parallax view. And if they're working with each other, and I call this the new Cambrian explosion. What was the original Cambrian explosion? I'll get off screen share for a moment. What was the original Cambrian explosion? Was started because two cells figured out how to stick together and work together and become one organism made of two cells. That was it. That was the foundational building block. It's like the Lego block. They figured that out. Once they figured that out, then cells could just keep adding on, and you could just and it was just an explosion in diversity and complexity, right? It was cells gone wild, combining, right? Now what have we got? Check this out. Okay. From cells to universes, right? What have you got? You've got the Twitter universe, and it is a universe. You've got the Dutch universe. You've got two different universes combining and becoming highly interdependent because they need each other. You need the sparse, concise synthesis, summary, whatever, right? And you need the long form conversation. The block party goes for 24 hours straight, right? From 280 characters to 24 hours of video conference with people participating from all over the world. And all these other key differences, it's the combination of these, kind of polar opposites in many ways. It's the combination that's going to be absolutely magical. This is the Cambrian explosion, because just like we went from two separate cells to cells sticking together, we went from separate universes to the universes coming together. Now, remember, what brought us to this conversation? This is our vision, right? We're envisioning right now. Right now, the Dutch universe is tiny and it's fragmented. It's a mere shadow of what it's about to become. And again, there's a link below called All Shot Up in the West, where we talk about it's the Wild West, but it's all shot up. I literally want to put bullet holes here. The nascent emergent Dutch universe right now is a shambles. It's all shot up in the West, for everything from Zoom bombers to character assassination. It's fragmented. People are afraid. And everyone's just kind of staying in their own foxholes. And everything is totally invisible. You can't find other transformational conversations unless you actually happen to know about them, because you're networked with somebody else. So it's in the dark ages. So we need to build it up. Now, Twitter is the perfect scaffolding for building up the Dutch universe, right? With the Dutch tweets, which are at the heart of it, the RSVPs, the updates, the certifications like certified compassionate, etc. Right? So all this is to say that, hey, Elon, the answer to all your problems, including your marketing problems, imagine you embrace compassion, right? You embrace transformation. You embrace everyone coming together and participating and co-creating the definition of what compassion is, what transformation is. Open it up, right? And you can really become kind of like one of the main caretakers, champions, scaffolding. You can be the sunlight in our universe. I mean, the Dutch universe is decentralized anyway, so it's not like anyone owns it. But Twitter, you and Twitter can do much more to promote it than anyone else at this point. And the symbioses are just off the charts. And it'll be the end of your PR problems because you're suddenly focused on compassion, transformation, and saving and healing life on Earth, solving the world's problems. You go from villain to hero. So this is what we're going to be delving into. We're going to be breaking this down into a series of videos and tweets tomorrow. And let me just see from the live audience if there's any questions right now. Happy to answer as best I can. So I'm going to pause. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening to this recording, and thanks for participating. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Friday, on Block Party number 135. We'll see you there. Thanks, everybody.